Week 4 reaches the thunderclap of an ending as Showdown Sunday gets set to go one more time here on the MLE Network. Welcome everybody to Showdown Sunday here, Minor League Esports presented by APM Music, set to go here. It is an Anime J on the call here, and with me for the first time this season, it is the one and only man of the dog pictures behind him. It's Lars Newt. Lars, how are you doing today?
I am excellent, Jay. I'm excited to be casting with you. It's been a long time coming, but you are an icon around here, so it's awesome to have the opportunity to step in and to step in on a Master League matchup, the Spartans and the Wolves. You just can't get enough of that high-level Rocket League action.
Yeah, Master League bordering from the start of Grand Champion all the way to 1700 in the matchmaking ratings, although those might be going out the window pretty soon here with the start of the new season and the new epoch of Rocket League ranked upon us. But enough about that. We'll get these teams ready to go here as the Wolves and the Spartans get set to play some cross-divisional games here, important for the wild card race down the stretch, and it'll be interesting to see how these two teams go from here, both of them right around 500, Lars.
Yeah, they're not in a great position to take a division and walk away with an easy playoff slot, but like you said, we're mid-season. It's important to get a lot of wins here to get that wild card slot as we hop into game number 1.
Right off the kickoff, it's the Wolves trying a set play as Ambitious Apple with the kill. Chase driving through, won't get anything but a shot on goal. Pugs down the side, right into a waiting Ambitious Apple. Skirky on the goal line for the Spartans, a little quick to go, and it's an early goal here for the Wolves.
I think more of a defensive miscue on the behalf of Skirky than anything else. Ambitious Apple did a good job finding that top corner, but Skirky just awkward getting up to that, and all they need to do is play that to the corner.
A little bit too quick, I think, turning upfield as Pugs got the first touch. It dropped uncontested into midfield, and the Wolves just take a shot from there, put it into the net with a little bit of difficulty for the Spartans. Long ball to the left side for Chase, looking for his second touch. Pugs at the near post will tip it away. Another save already for the Spartans early on here, 30 seconds in. Skirky, another awkward touch. This one up, 2 Wolves lurking. Pugs will tip it down into Ambitious Apple. Still in the Spartans' corner as Chase will cycle in for the Wolves. One touch by Chase, now a second trying to get the challenge from Skirky, but wise to that, Skirky will take control through the first challenge by Ambitious Apple, and it's away by Pugs down into the Wolves' end.
You mentioned earlier this being that low GC range, but you know, we say the word low in front of that, but it's still GC. These are high-level players, and the play feels a little slow to me so far, and I think it's just, again, that feel each other out play period. This, you said, cross-divisional, you know, maybe not totally familiar with each other and their play styles, so they're really trying to get a handle on that before they get aggressive and turn the speed up.
These teams only playing each other for this match across the regular season. The next time they may meet would be the playoffs, so not a lot of time to really get a ton of intel on your opponents. Here's a weak shot by Pugs, will be tipped away by Apple. 50 back into the Spartans' end, will be controlled by Pugs, again slowing this one down, not looking to rush the play upfield, although Ambitious Apple aggressively to that. Skirky has to clear it away. It's not far enough though. In the corner by the Wolves. Out to midfield again by the Spartans, opening up in the midfield. Chase has a shot, can't get the flick under control. Follow up by Ambitious Apple, though, at the top of the box. Will make it 2-0.
And here we see the Spartans just struggling in the defensive end. They seem to be out of sorts, out of position, and then leaving that ball center as Ambitious Apple, as we saw ambitious and aggressive earlier, now that pays off to give the Wolves their 2-0 lead.
It seems like the aggression from the Wolves is really well timed right now. They're waiting for the Spartans to kind of open up in their defensive rotation. There's one touch that just doesn't quite go far enough for the Spartans, and it gives the Wolves an opportunity, but on the counter off the kickoff, Skirky will find a goal for the Spartans.
The Spartans finding their own little bit of aggression. Ambitious not able to get the ball clear, even though they got the demo, and Skirky, good push upfield. We've seen Skirky upfield a few times. It's been more to the detriment of the Spartans, but here it pays off as they're able to close that gap down to 1 goal.
Much of the first 2 minutes of this game played in the Spartans' defensive end. Finally, their first real foray to the Wolves' end nets them a goal. That's Pugs under control here in the midfield. Slow air dribble, actually losing control of this one. Will fall to Chase on net. Skirky's at a boost. Can't quite get it on target. Is Chase on the long ball, and Skirky out of boost trying to cover the near post. Will thank their lucky stars on that one.
Seems like all these players, again, just a little uncomfortable with the scenario here. You could definitely expect, as the series carries on, for these players to get a little bit more warmed up as that one's threatening in front of the net. But I think a little confusion on the side of the Wolves. Can't decide who to go after that.
Somebody needed to call that one off. I could tell Chase had the boost in the backfield, but really wanted to let Apple try and make that one work as it was wide open. Speaking of wide open, I don't know if Apple got boost on the return rotation. The Spartans make it 2-2.
Just good pressure out of Skirky, winning that 50 and then quickly up to that ball to get there before Apple can clear it away. Good pace, good pressure out of the Spartans, and now that's going to be threatening that Wolves. Well, I was going to say threatening their lead, but obviously that's already gone.
It was a good 50 as well by Skirky. It kind of flashed by on the replay, but won the 50 against Chase that kind of set that play up and forced Apple to come across to try and make a desperation touch, and it didn't manifest for the Wolves. Now, still under pressure here as the Spartans end as Chase wins a 50 down to ambitious Apple, and the Wolves will get their lead back.
2 of 3 goals here for the Wolves coming off of these missed touches. This time a good 50 out of Chase, but in general, leaving that ball center net makes it very easy for ambitious Apple, playing that kind of lurking midfield position to just scoop that up and center it, or send it home.
A good 2 support players, highly underrated a lot of the times. You'll clean up a lot of goals too, but there are some games where the shots don't come off for you and it doesn't look very good on the score sheet, but you're doing a lot of the difficult work in that role, just playing that kind of loose safety away from the first player on the ball most of the time. In the corner now, both Spartans players kind of juggling this one. It pops up for Chase, finds it over top of the Spartans, and it's a 2-goal lead again for the Wolves.
And again, the Spartans scrambling on defense, can't seem to get settled in a defensive rotation. It leaves them double committing on that ball, and despite the double commit, neither can beat Chase. Chase up quickly with a nice touch down just past the crossbar. There
was a demo just before that sequence of play as well that I think didn't help the Spartans in their efforts to try and clear it, as Pugs respawning underneath that one made it a little more awkward than it might have been able to be. Out of the back, Chase held in by Skirky. Pugs lurking in the clearance lane on the right wing side. Apple slows this one down for the Wolves. Chase underneath. This might be a chance for the Spartans here, as low boost levels for one of the Wolves at least will not be punished right away as it's slow. Chase awkwardly up for Skirky, finds the angle, and it's down in. 1-goal game once more.
Skirky is such an offensive player right now. Spartans as a whole struggling a little bit on defense, but man, you give them that opportunity upfield as Chase did, heading that center across, and Skirky is going to be there to pounce on it.
The Wolves, I think, just need to be a little bit quicker to clear their lines. They wanted to slow it down, try and bait the Spartans in, but as they get those 50s lined up a little bit more strongly, they're struggling to really get that clear as the second and third opportunities present themselves, and the Spartans keeping themselves in this one through those opportunities, but it's the Wolves now on offense. Chase with a slow shot to the near post, tipped away by Pugs. Out to Apple in the midfield, a quick pop up to the ceiling, away by Pugs, looking for Skirky in the midfield. It's held in by Chase, 2-on-0 opportunity for the Wolves. Apple with an open net, won't find the target. Chase as well, comes through and misses. The Wolves needed that one as the insurance goal. Still not out of danger yet for the Spartans.
Saw the Spartans very capable on the offensive end. If you give them that opportunity, they're going to be scoring here. And just like you said, I think Wolves are going to want that one back should this get tied up here with 30 seconds to go.
Chase out of the backfield, past the lunging challenge of Pug. Skirky will rotate through to hold it in for the moment. Down for Apple. Chase is open in front. Bump by Skirky will clear it away. Pugs will shepherd ambitious Apple into the Spartans' corner. Attempt by Chase off the backboard. Pugs will grab boost. Demo Chase on the way through. Slows this down. 10 seconds to go here in game 1. Still in the Wolves' end. The Spartans lurking, looking for their goal. It's Skirky up against Chase. Last bit of boost. Holds it out by Chase. Pugs into the waiting arms of Chase as well. 2 big saves will clear out to midfield. The Wolves hang on to take game 1.
So here we are, game 1. The Wolves take the first victory, but just barely on that 4-3 win. And it really goes to show that this is anybody's series going forward. Both the Wolves and the Spartans doing some things very well and some things not so good. Both teams struggling a little bit in the defensive end. The Spartans, some awkward touches, some awkward positioning, and the Wolves not doing a great job clearing the ball away. I know you mentioned earlier that they're slowing the ball down a lot. I know a common criticism out of the casting booth is teams tend to hammer the ball away and they don't slow it and control it enough. But everything in moderation, it goes both ways. Just like you said, they need to be quicker clearing those lines. Spartans, settle down those defensive rotations. On the flip side of the ball, Spartans really good on the midfield 50s, doing a good job keeping that pressure forward. And the Wolves playing that physical game almost perfectly, demoing, bumping, but not in a way that puts them out of position.
I think all things in moderation, it's also very critical to note what your opponent's tendencies are. With the Spartans, you talk about that midfield presence against the Wolves. They're very aggressive to get in and step up from that midfield line into the Wolves' corner, and the quickest way to counter that is to just start to lump the ball long and force aggressive teams to have to spend their boost to turn around and go back and defend, because as they track that ball back, it becomes a little bit more difficult to read the play because you don't see what's behind you anymore as you've already turned around to play the ball in your corner. So it really opens up opportunities to set up from the midfield line into the offensive corner for yourselves to try and get a better read on the play.
Absolutely, and as the Spartans have struggled a little bit on the defensive end, if you can throw them off a little bit more, it's going to open up that net very nicely.
Start in the Spartans' offensive third, but briefly as Skirky's first touch will go away and Pugs will miss it at midfield. Ambitious Apple, again, early goal here to start the Wolves off in the right way.
And that is just a mechanical miscue. I think Pugs maybe thought another touch was coming a little sooner, tried to play it, and Ambitious Apple able to just walk that one in right behind it.
It happens in twos every so often. You'll just see a goal get given up like that, and you just have to shake it off, come back and do what's meant to be the right way a couple times later. As Skirky looking for Pugs high off the backboard here on the side, down into Chase. It'll be a Rule 1 looking like here as Ambitious Apple will go 1v1 with Skirky now. Apple slowing it down, really wanting to get this dribble play right. The flick is good, but Skirky equal to that one will take it away. Quick turn for that as Skirky puts it into the corner here. Apple will slow it down, tracking back. Skirky grabbing the midfield boost, waiting on this one to see what Apple will do. It's another slow dribble attempt. Skirky getting in aggressively. That's what we talked about in between games, Lars, and Skirky can't turn it around. Now is Apple back the other way, and this one should be a walk-in. It is. 10-5 touchdown. Stick taps to the Rule 1.
You cannot respect that Rule 1 enough. Kudos to both players for sticking that one out and staying close, but unfortunately, Ambitious Apple reigning superior in the 1v1 against Skirky. Just like you said, Skirky does a really good job on the offensive end, getting upfield, getting aggressive, and getting shots on net, but being too eager coming out of the defensive end has left them burned a few times, and it's honestly should have resulted in more Wolves goals.
Well, the opportunity to win that 1v1 was there. Skirky actually had Apple beat and just couldn't turn it in at that near post. And unfortunately, now the Spartans chasing this one by 2 for a second straight game. Skirky, one flick to get past one, a second one past Apple, and Skirky will get the 1v2 plays going and make it a 2-1 game.
So that was the answer. We just needed Skirky to be playing against 2 players and not 1, and that's where they're going to come out and shine with a great offensive effort. Patient and not overblown. They did a good job not smacking that one away, being patient first with that fake, and then the nice easy touch over top, not going into the crossbar and back out.
Really well-crafted goal, and it comes at an important time as well. It stems that Wolves momentum against the Spartans and allows them to just kind of reset on this one, maybe get their bearings a bit more, although Skirky, again, very aggressively positioned. Chase had an open net to work with, but the wave dash attempt will put it wide and let the Spartans reset. Down the right wing side goes Skirky into Chase on the respawn. Now it's a 2v1 opportunity for the Wolves, but cut out well by Pugs. Held in by Apple, still on the left wing side. Ambitious Apple demoed by Pugs as Chase went through Skirky. A 1-for-1 on the demos, and the Spartans will clear this away.
I'm just a big fan of how the physical gameplay has been played so far in this match. Teams so often misuse physical gameplay, either by underutilizing it or by overutilizing it, chasing demos and bumps and putting themselves out of position. But both of these teams are doing a great job of incorporating it into just a normal rotation, taking advantage of the opportunities as they're presented, and it's come in so clutch on both sides of the ball.
I talk a little bit about the dump and bump in twos, where the first player dumps the ball in, goes to bump a defender, and opens up space for their support player to come in and really sweep up and get a shot on goal here, as Pugs will take this one solo through the midfield, slows it down with all the boost. The Wolves can't figure it out, and Pugs, coast to coast, makes it 2-2.
I think the biggest thing we've seen here so far has been the slow play and how that's thrown these teams off, and it's so effective because as you come up through the ranks, you start to see faster and faster gameplay, and you start playing at that faster and faster level. If someone suddenly throws the brakes on, it really throws you mentally as you've adapted to this greater level of gameplay. But the flip side of that is having the mechanical ability to slow the ball down is just awesome. So nice job to Pugs there to get that one home.
It was just that slow looping air dribble that both Wolves players had to track back and try to read. And I think it was Chase who ended up right underneath it and then unfortunately flipped sideways trying to get the clear, but making amends for this one. Chase, on the attempt at least, will put it off the post into the waiting arms of Apple. It's through midfield now. Apple holding this one into the Spartans end. Chase aggressively to it. No boost here. Looking for the pass. We'll get past Pugs. Apple's gone back a little far, and Skirky will clear the lines for the moment.
Well
Chase
played
in
out
front.
of Apple.
Skirky off the bar there. You're right. Apple just giving a little bit of space to hold that ball in for the Wolves. They don't get the shot on goal out of it, but the pressure is still mounting a little bit against that Spartans end.
You mentioned pressure mounting on the Spartans' end, but here the Spartans getting a good look forward and then turning it right back around as the Wolves. What I'd like to see out of the Spartans is get some better follow-up shots on these opportunities. That first shot is going to be easier to defend for this Wolves defense. Obviously, we've seen the Spartans capable of beating them on the first attempt, but that first shot's going to force at least one of these Wolves players out of the net and away from defending, and if you can get a quick follow-up, that's going to be a really good opportunity.
The Wolves' rotations defensively have been pretty sound, except for in transition. So if you can't beat them on the fast transition, then you definitely have to do a bit more with your possession game. The Spartans haven't had a lot of the ball right now. It's been a lot of one-and-done chances, although Chase will cut through two. Ample on the doorstep, breaks the deadlock, and makes it 3-2.
Speaking of a one-and-done chance, that's all the Wolves need here. Skirky not able to get the challenge, and then just a quick drive around Pugs, roll it through the corner, and that is easy finish for Ambitious Apple. If you're going to drop that one in front of the net, these Master League players are not going to miss.
And just the way that Chase sets it up as well, calm, cool as you like through the midfield. But speaking of that, off the set play, Skirky drives through the deadlock on the kickoff and will tie the game back up.
And this is just kickoff goals. They happen. Both teams making that aggressive, high-risk, high-reward to chase the kickoff, and it just happens to roll slightly to the Spartans' side, and no one's in position to make that save. There's nothing you can do about it.
Really isn't. You just kind of have to pre-read where the back player is going to go, and unfortunately for the Wolves, they don't get that 50 the way they need to. Through midfield, Skirky, great touch to get that under the onrushing Apple. Now Chase underneath it as well. Skirky looking for the dish off the backboard, won't have the boost to do it, but corner to corner keeps control of this ball for the Spartans. Off the 50 out by Chase towards Pugs in the Spartans backfield. Now down the wing looking for a late game winner here is Pugs into Chase in the Wolves corner. Skirky aggressively in. Here's the opportunity for the Spartans. Skirky up again looking for the dish, and it won't happen as Apple, wise to that one, tips it away for the moment. 5 to go. One last chance for the Wolves as Apple brings it into Pugs at the midfield line. This one should fall harmlessly, and it does. Overtime will settle game 2. No cheat on this kickoff. Chase into Pugs. Down into the Wolves corner. Chase will grab the boost, bump into Pugs, and a little bit of awkward play here to scrum things out. You talk about the physical play, Lars. We've seen a lot of it through game 2 here, and through that demo there to open things up. Maybe it'll be there, and it is actually. Unfortunate for Skirky, drops the ball, and Apple will win this one for the Wolves.
The demo opening things up the wrong way. Skirky, I think, smoke screened by their own demo and then ends up getting that extra touch they weren't planning on putting it around Pugs and leaving that one center. What an unfortunate end for the Spartans to give game 2 to the Wolves and set them on match point here for the series. But a couple of notes. First, this is MLE, so we're going to play all 5 games regardless of what happens in this next game. And on the flip side, we've got the Spartans offensively doing such a good job. Let's talk about Pugs and that slow air dribble. That's just such awesome car control to get that ball all the way down to the net without the Wolves able to intercept.
So awkward, too. You watch that on the replay from Chase's angle. It's not a high one, but it's just at that arc that flies right overhead. There's so little that you can try and do about it at that point that all you can do is flip and hope for the best. But a good performance out of the Wolves to at least fight back and take that lead back when they needed to. The Spartans, again, in this one the whole way, really. And I think it's just a matter of fine adjustments, Lars. Just a few little things they need to change to make this one closer in the series, because they can play with the Wolves. It's just the Wolves are getting the better opportunities.
Absolutely. And we see, where the Spartans are really effective on that first shot. They do a good job using mechanical play to open up the net. But then where the Spartans can do better is, like we said, get those follow-up touches. If it doesn't work the first time, you have to be better about controlling down on the Wolves' end. Other than that, Spartans have really cleaned up their defense, and they're doing much better there. On the flip side of the ball, Wolves just more consistent. We asked them to be quicker to clear the ball away from their net, and they absolutely delivered on that one. They've done a great job clearing the zone. They just need to find I don't know. I guess they don't need to find anything because they've been winning, but I guess there's a couple places they can improve, and that's just get better first look opportunities, maybe on the mechanical side. But, oh, no.
So we talked about it off camera. It seems to be a trend today as Lars decided to potentially get back on the field, but no harm, no foul, nothing influencing the gameplay as this one's down in the Spartans' end. It's a good shot by Apple as well. Might have been a bit of a smokescreen by Chase on the near post, and the Wolves make it 1-0.
And that is something that the Wolves have done well, is bringing that offensive pressure down on the net. Obviously, they don't need me, so...
They've been really good about it so far. I think that back to the point we were trying to make, what the Wolves can improve on, is just putting games away. They've been up 2-0 a couple of times. The Spartans have pulled them back a couple of times, and it's been tightly contested games. The Wolves haven't run away with this one yet. So I think if you're watching the Wolves here and you're wanting the Wolves to pull forward a bit, you just want to see them really stretch that lead out, put these games beyond doubt, because the Spartans, they're scoring goals. We'll see if we can get one here as Pugs will flick it through, gets the demo on the way through. Chase is kind of looping out at that one. It's awkward, but Skirky not quick enough to that one, and Chase will respawn, but not out of danger yet.
Yeah, Spartans threatening, absolutely. They did a great job. Really, the only reason, barring something else happening in overtime, the only reason they won that last game was because the Spartans handed them a goal in OT. So if you're the Wolves, can't rest on your laurels. You're up 2-0 in the series, and now you're winning in Game 3, but just barely. You won the first game by one goal. You won the second game by getting handed it by the defense. You know, like you said, don't want this to go to overtime. Take this game and run away with it.
It's a little bit of a nervy time here for the Wolves. There's a couple of chances by the Spartans will get tipped away here. One more look at it as Pugs looks for the back 90 with a stretching air roll. Won't find it. First clear by Apple is good. It's into Pugs in the midfield. Double commit by the Wolves will not hold this in very well. Second touch by Apple into Skirky, looking for a clever mechanical play to try and beat the first player, but won't get there as Chase will hold this in the Wolves' defensive corner. Both Wolves are here. Skirky might have a chance to pass out to Pugs. It's a good spot. Chase down into Pugs, diving into the box to make it 1-1.
Let's talk about physical play. This time, physical on the ball, forcing that one through. Everybody got a look at that one, but Pugs comes sailing in and says, nope, this is not coming out. I've decided that's going to be a goal, and it is a goal.
It actually hits Skirky again in that scrum on the midway through, deflects back into Pugs, who gets the final touch of the ball to confirm that goal. I think every player might have had a touch in that sequence. Chase, Apple, Pugs, and Skirky all involved in that one in front of the Wolves' net, makes it 1-1. Chase into Pugs in the midfield. Spartans looking for a second, looking for their first lead so far in this series, as Pugs will contest this with Chase in the corner, but ultimately the Wolves get it up into the Spartans' end.
Spartans really showing themselves as a mechanical team as the Wolves threaten again, but no one able to follow it up, as both Pugs and Skirky looking for a cheeky redirect from just off the post there, and it's threatening the Wolves. And I know if I'm the Wolves, I'm going to be looking out for that going forward. That is a scary shot. I know they haven't made it yet, but it is dangerous if you let that keep happening.
Halftime come and gone by way of Skirky looking for a sharp-angled shot. This one in front for Apple. Pugs up as well. 2-on-1 opportunity for the Spartans. Chasing a good spot to clear it away, and will do so, but only as far as Skirky on the first touch, left wing side for the Spartans. Chase again off the backboard, credited with one more save. Can't get the second touch. Apple drafted into a save on the back line as the Spartans, the rotation finally pressuring the Wolves in. They're struggling to get this one out. Skirky running out of boost and has to get a bump awkwardly through to Pugs. A little bit squirrely once the Spartans break down in transition.
It's exactly what you've mentioned before, is they struggle through those transitions coming back towards the net, and if you could take advantage of the Wolves, that's going to be very powerful. But the Spartans, you can just touch on them for a second and how they've done a really good job changing up the gameplay and getting consistent pressure towards the Wolves' net instead of just a one-and-done opportunity.
Pugs down into Apple. Follow-up chance by Skirky. Another chase save for the Wolves. Spartans opt to reset from their back line, allowing Chase to clear for the Wolves. Past one, great little flick. Past two, in the middle. Apple's too far back, and it's too hot to handle as well. The Spartans will get back and get a couple of touches to midfield.
I question that's reset back at their back line. I know they struggle in the transition, and maybe getting that reset going to defense helps them, but you're giving so much space to the Wolves team. We've talked about the Spartans' mechanics, but these are all Master League players. You know if the Wolves have space, they're going to try to take advantage of it. Sometimes you need a reset, but you should be aggressively back to the ball to challenge at the midfield.
Chase has had a couple of good, clever touches to get through the Spartans on defense. Apple will pick this one up off of Pugs. It's open net, just under the bar and in. And the Spartans don't clear their lines. The Wolves make them pay.
That is just an unfortunate touch for Pugs. I think a little unaware of where Ambitious Apple was sitting and touches it back, thinking they had more time to control out of the zone. And it's right back to the issues the Wolves had in game one of not getting the ball cleared fast enough. It's good to control when you can. That scenario, just not one that you could control.
Really hot to handle kickoff here, and Chase will put one off the post with Skirky helpless in net. Big opportunity for the Wolves to put this one potentially out of reach, but Ample will come through good on that one, makes it 3-1.
And this is what we asked for at the start of the game, which is run away with it. Late in the game to be scoring goals like this is so threatening to the Spartans. And is it doable to score 2 more for the Spartans here in the next 22 seconds? Yes, but they just haven't done a good job getting consistent pressure forward. I think game 3 is going to the Wolves.
And the ball being in the Spartans' end will lend a little bit of veracity to this one, as Pugs will have to tip that away. But 10 seconds to go, the Spartans not out of the woods yet. Holding this one in, a quick goal will do them wonders. Skirky looking for it. Big save by Chase, and that will just about do it. It hits the ground back in the Spartans' end, and a big save by Chase will see the Wolves through to a 3-0 series lead.
So, Wolves win the series, but we're talking about games when we go to playoffs. So we still need, we talked about when we started, both of these teams need big wins here to try to make a play for that playoff, that wild card slot going into the playoffs. Wolves now set up nicely to take 3 games at least for sure, 4 or 5 if they can, to put themselves in a much better position. Spartans, not time to give up. We're in week 4. We've got plenty of season left to try to make a run back at the playoffs and then make a run up through the playoffs. So every game matters. Inanimate J, if you are sitting here in the box with the Spartans, what do you tell them to get them to win games 4 and 5?
Slow it down a little bit in terms of the transition game. I think Skirky is probably the fast, aggressive one, so if I'm Pugs, I'm probably letting Skirky play in and being the support player. If I'm a betting man here, I would say that the key is going to be to put the Wolves in a tough spot. And to do so, you just need to be able to take advantage of the times when the possession is loose. And there haven't been that many, partly because the Spartans, in that last game especially, weren't doing a good enough job of putting the Wolves into tough spots.
I have to agree with you there. And the other thing I think the Spartans can do, on top of Pugs being more of a support player, Skirky comes upfield. We saw a lot of Pugs in front of Skirky, but Skirky's really more of an offensive player. So let Skirky go do their thing. Pugs be a little bit more supportive. And then we saw none of that real mechanical ambition out of the Spartans throughout game 3. And I think if they go back to that play style, they can open up some more opportunities out of the Wolves.
I think a lot of that has to come down to getting control of the ball and getting control of the boost. And it'll start from their backfield here as Chase with a great little flip cancel to keep that alive, but Skirky sweeps it clear into the waiting arms of Apple. Kind of right where I was talking about a player for the Spartans needs to be when they're on offense. That waiting in the clearance lanes might be the key for this one, as Skirky back for the Spartans will wait on Apple here. Big flick, it's past the first one. Pugs has to come across, and that's a big save to tip it away here. First couple big chances go to the Wolves here in game 4.
You're right, 30 seconds in, and we've saw nothing but Wolves pressure, but now the Spartans get their opportunity upfield and barely managed to get back to keep that one contained, and that's a great pass across, but Pugs a little too close to take advantage of it. And we see them changing up the play style a little bit, looking for those pass plays, which is good because obviously what they've had so far has not worked. And you love to see them experiment a little bit, recognize that whatever's happening isn't working. Let's go for something different.
Yeah, the trick, too, though, is that the pass has to come at a moment when the pass is going to beat a defender. And in this case, it doesn't for the Spartans. It will for the Wolves, though, as Chase to Apple off the backboard makes it 1-0.
And that is so effective here at every level, truly, especially as you go up in ranks. You try to avoid some of that corner ball, as Thunderballs likes to say, rolling it through, because it's very easy for these higher level players to read that coming out of the corner and make a play back the other way. But use the backboard, rip it off the backboard, and if your teammate's well positioned, they'll be able to follow that up as the defense is left out of position trying to defend it.
This is what I like to see out of the Spartans, that long ball to get past the midfield press of Apple, but they don't control it in the Wolves' end, and the Wolves will get one chance to clear. Chase is backed up in net. Pugs has an opportunity. Post it in. It's a 1-1 game.
That is a nice, quick beat out of Pugs. What a way to cut that angle back towards the net, coming from kind of behind the ball and able to just barely tuck that one in off the post. Wolves, on the other hand, talked about the backboard. We talked about how you can use it on the offensive end. On the defensive end, you need to get up and meet it at the backboard because these teams are going to be so quick to punish if you let it come back down off.
Chase just a little bit caught in net on that one. Had to take stock of the options there. And by the time it was done, the 50 had come all the way out in front of net. And Pugs with the conversion on that one. It's a good goal for the Spartans. Having to play out of the backfield again here. Skirky will beat the business end of a demo from Apple. Into Chase, long ball, Spartans scrambling, Chase up, big save by Pugs. Won't get credit for that one, but it was touched away really well. Just did enough to put Chase off on the shot.
And that is that get up and challenge. It's coming off the backboard. Maybe you read it a little slow and you can't get up fast enough to meet it on the backboard, but that doesn't mean you wait for it to come down. Pugs doing a great job to turn this around, and now shooting opportunity. Pugs slowing down that air dribble again, but this time the angle too easy for Ambitious Apple to get up and clear away.
Good aggressive play by Apple. You love to see that one. You don't want to let the player just kind of sit there, dribble, get themselves figured out, get up, challenge the ball directly in line, and just clear it away. It's Apple down towards Chase, rotating back. Will actually beat both Chase and Pugs, and it's Apple winning the foot race against Skirky. Looking for a second touch. Pugs will clear into Chase. This is the dangerous part for the Spartans. If they can't get these big first clears, it's dangerous for them. Apple drops it in after Skirky off the backboard to make it 2-1.
That is such a well-positioned Ambitious Apple. We saw them first coming all the way down the field, but now going that far side, ready for that play coming across. A lot of players tend to come up the middle, ready for a center pass, but if that ball is coming all the way from in the corner, you want to be in that position because as we saw, as the Spartans try to clear, all that momentum still flowing across, and Ambitious Apple at a great spot to take advantage of it.
Especially with the speed of the play, it's really hard for a player to do a lot of different things when the ball has enough velocity to kind of have a mind of its own there, and lets the defenders, at least at midfield, read that play a little bit more cleanly. Spartans still playing from behind here as Pugs will catch. Skirky's in front. Dangerous prospect for the Spartans as they'll pass it in. Skirky takes over, gets a great shot on the angle, beats both Wolves, and it's 2-2.
That is the mechanical play we've asked for out of these players. First, a good, just easy pass from Pugs to Skirky. Accelerate that play forward. It puts the Wolves on the back foot in a faster transition than they were ready for. But then that flick up and over and into the crossbar and back top 90. Oh, it's just so clean. And when we say mechanics, it's not just the high-flying, crazy flip reset to double touch, stall, whatever you want to call it. It's just the basic mechanics and that good consistency in your positioning, your speed, how you move your car around the field, and then flicks. And that was a nice flick, but nothing too crazy. It's good to see.
Exactly. Just understanding how to control your car will allow you so many more options on the field. As right now we're seeing it on display from both teams. A long clear by Skirky, again pushing the Wolves back. Apple can't get the read, chases backwards. Where's Pugs? All the way back. A big chance gone, but Skirky trying to make something happen. Gets through one, won't get through the second as Chase recovers for the Wolves.
The Spartans keep looking for that slow play, and I see why they keep beating Wolves by going to the slow play. And if it's not broken, why fix it? They just need to get better opportunities either on the follow-up or get into the position where they can make those slow plays more often.
Double commit by the Spartans on this clear will have them in a 2v1 versus the Wolves, but Pugs won't find the first touch. It slows down. Chase reads it well, will clear it away to the left wing side for the Wolves. Chase looking for one more off the backboard, contesting it with Pugs, as Pugs will win the boost, but loses the ball to, again, a well-positioned Ambitious Apple. Apple's 50, down to Pugs, lofted touch up for Skirky, won't get there in time. Chase is again in on this one. Grabs the boost, underneath it from Pugs. Apple rotating in, uses all the boost, but wins the ball. Demo by Chase on Pugs. This might open up for the Wolves. It's high, but not quite fast enough, and Chase runs out of boost, and it'll be cleared away by Skirky.
Skirky's doing a much better job than we saw through Game 1 and some of Game 2, where they were very aggressive to come upfield as soon as that ball wasn't there, but there's Pugs over the top to take the lead late over the Wolves.
All of a sudden, both Wolves players underneath it. Again, it's Chase. A little bit too much faith in the teammate as Apple was up for that one. Didn't have the greatest of reaches, and where it bounced down, it was right behind Chase, and Pugs on the doorstep will tap it in. We've talked about it earlier, I think in Game 2, Lars, where the Wolves were kind of handed one by the Spartans. The Spartans will take that gift back here as down in the Wolves' end. Ambitious Apple keeps it alive for the moment. Last chance for the Wolves here to tie it up. It'll hit the ground in the Spartans' corner. They'll take one here in Game 4.
All right, so now we're 3-1 for the Wolves in the series with Spartans. Good win on that one. They've been doing some things very well, and some things still need a little bit of work. The Spartans, as I was saying before I was rudely interrupted by Pug scoring that game-winning goal there, doing a much better job on their defensive rotations, not coming upfield too aggressively before the clear is assured. They're doing great on that. They're still struggling a little bit on the follow-up shots. We saw how effective it is. Pugs scoring the game-winning goal by keeping pressure directly on the net, not letting that even start to come clear. So if they can continue to get follow-up shots off of these opportunities, it's going to be hugely advantageous for them. Wolves, on the other hand, Ambitious Apple in particular, so well positioned coming down the field. Just a great read on the play, and it's going to open up more opportunities for them going forward. Spartans need to do a better job of figuring out where the Wolves players are and making good clears away from the Wolves defense.
I think the first touch for the Spartans has been the main reason why most of this series so far has been played in the Spartans' end. We look at this game, the Spartans actually outshot by the Wolves 8-5, but most of the Spartan saves coming out of Pugs, I think you and I were talking about it just before we went on air, Pugs just outside the top 10 in saves per game. We're seeing a big reason why that stat is up there. There's been a lot of well-positioned play by Pugs in net to clear this away, but a lot of the pressure invited on the Spartans net by themselves, just not getting the ball clear.
Yeah, it's something I always talk about whenever I see teams or players with big stats on the defensive end where it says, oh, this person gets tons and tons of saves, they're a really good defensive player. That's great, and it does speak a lot to their defensive ability, but the flip side of that is, why are they getting so many opportunities to save the ball? If they're not clearing it well, it's good and all that they can make saves, but not if it means they're going to continue to get threatened, and that is going to threaten the Wolves' net, but nothing doing. Here's Skirky following and can't quite get there.
Ooh, and then just kind of an awkward 50 by Skirky. Pug's a little quick on the draw, will end up having to get the Spartans back on the defensive side. Good clear by Skirky out to midfield. Chase has to track this down. We'll get one touch. It's awkwardly out to the middle. Both Wolves players committed. Pugs on the shot. Base of the post far side. Won't get through. And a couple of cracks of that one. The Spartans have nothing for it.
Spartans just need to finish here. They've had so many good looks already here. 40 seconds in the game. And that one's over the top and off the crossbar out of the corner. But Chase able to cut it back and take advantage of it. I can't do color because I'm too busy doing play-by-play on these shots.
Well, Ambitious Apple just bullying that one through. Pugs got taken out of the play. Skirky as well, having to try and pre-flip that off of the post. Doesn't get it right. The bounce off the post, eluding Chase, but able to stick with it in the box. The Wolves will again take a lead here in Game 5 as the Spartans lament that missed chance and have to work again from behind in this game. Chase.
In defense of the Spartans, that corner post is so almost impossible to read, but it's not going to matter as Ambitious Apple, a great center pass as Chase, cherry picking upfield, does a good job being aware of their position, is able to touch that one in just past the Spartans defense.
Chase actually didn't quite get the touch on that. The game said it lagged a little bit, but it was a redirected shot by one of the Spartans defenders, just kind of flying past that one as everyone getting real close to hitting that. It ends up going in, down by 2 for the Spartans, but we've seen them here before. Skirky pressured by Apple will win this one out to Pugs. Chase being interfered with, but another great demo by Ambitious Apple, and then has to pick up the save as well after the smoke screen. Held in for the moment by the Spartans, only as far as Pugs in the midfield. Pugs looking to get this one past the near post. Shot and through. Cleared away now by Chase in the Wolves' corner. Pugs out to the right wing side for the Spartans, looking for one more touch off the sidewall. Will get it. Low boost, trying to just cushion this one down, and it's caught by Chase for the Wolves.
Really like what I see here out of the Spartans. First, as Pugs was demoed, Skirky staying upfield, not panicking, and continuing to pressure even though it's a solo play. And now we've seen so much offensive pressure out of the Spartans. As the Wolves turn this one around, it's just coming off of about a minute of Spartan attack on the Wolves' net.
Hasn't really been a lot of effective attack on the Wolves' net, though, for the Spartans. They get the ball in, they get a couple of chances, but the Wolves get their rotations back and clear it away effectively as Spartans trying to get this one out of their end. Skirky's at a boost, will just float in front of that one as Ambitious Apple with a somewhat ambitious shot to try and get that through. A 1v1 Pugs versus Chase. Pugs up, we've seen this before. Slow aerial dribble, but Chase will get the save and clears away aggressively as we hit the halfway point. Still 2-0 Wolves.
That's a good job out of Chase to challenge that one early. We know Pugs is dangerous in the air, and that's dangerous towards the Spartans' net. Chase able to catch that one off the ceiling and just touch that one home.
Sometimes I think there's just a little bit too much haste by players to go straight up at a ball with boost. Pugs had the backboard available, just kind of drove straight at that one, slammed it up into the ceiling, and as the Wolves finish their rotation forward, Chase underneath that will just take it, drop it in, and they'll lead by 3 here in Game 5. Skirky one touch, doesn't get away from the Spartans as the Wolves again lurking here. Chase slow floater into Pugs, not out of danger, down for Apple. They're on the doorstep, the Spartans still struggling to clear. They'll pick up another couple of saves.
It's really nice to see the Wolves just circling midfield like a pack of wolves ready to attack, and as soon as they get that opportunity, they put that shot towards net. But so far, not able to pay off. We've seen the scoring slow down. They got that early 2-0 lead, but now the Spartans kind of figured out how to defend it, with the exception of that last goal. They just, like you said, they're getting good pressure. They just can't finish it. They can't find a good actual opportunity on the net.
Both Wolves players drafted into that one will clear away to the left wing side. Chase actually has it past Skirky, but Pugs back quickly will hold that one away for a moment. Skirky trying to disrupt the Wolves' rotation. It's Chase on the redirect near side. Goes wide out for Pugs to reset for the Spartans. Pugs past both Wolves players. Apple up the backboard to try and tip it away. Skirky is lurking, might have a chance, but Chase aggressively in to help their teammate out. Gets that one to midfield for the moment.
Starting to see a little bit more back and forth here as these players are settling into offense and defense, but it's not enough as the Wolves do a good job. Like I said, just get those follow-up opportunities, be lurking, ready for that. And Pugs, did a good job staying home and not abandoning as that ball rolled upfield, but feels flip and just a little slow to get up. Didn't really have much of a chance to stop that one.
Good shot placement by Apple. Knew exactly where the defender was, where the relative reach of the defender was as well. Puts it opposite side, top 90, and staking the Wolves here to a 4-0 lead with just under a minute to go. Skirky for the Spartans, down for Pugs, as the Spartans looking for something to hang a helmet on here at the end of this Game 5. Pugs holding in, will only get as far as Chase in the midfield. Skirky to hold in. A couple of touches through this sector here as, again, the Wolves get it halfway through into Spartans' pressure, and the Spartans, with that pressure, can't really generate any kind of scoring chance off of it.
Yeah, it's unfortunate to see the Spartans start to fall off here. The Wolves have done such a good job throughout these last 2 games of bringing pressure, and it's what we asked for, to be sure. We said, hey, if you are the Wolves, you can't continue to let these be 1-goal games because the Spartans are going to take advantage of it. We saw it in Game 4, and now Skirky trying their hardest with no boost to get upfield. Nothing going to happen out of that one, but the Wolves finally managed to run away with a game, and this is their first really big win of the series to get them that 4-0 win in the series. 4-1 win.
Oh, maybe an own goal here? Chase has still got it. It's teeing it up. You know they want the 0-second goal. You got to respect it, and they'll get to this. Ambitious Apple will help that along. Good to see the sportsmanship out of that one here with the 0-second goal. It was just a well-crafted performance by the Wolves, Lars. They did what I like to say pretty much everything in twos right. Yes, they struggled a little bit defensively when the Spartans were putting them under pressure, but by and large, they just let the Spartans play into their midfield presence and were really effective with the ball.
Yeah, I think the big news here, and really the big news we've seen kind of all weekend, has been consistency, and it's always been the more consistent team has come out on top. It's great when you have these flashes of greatness like we saw out of the Spartans. We saw a couple of incredible plays, solo plays out of both Spartans players, which, by the way, if you're not aware, you can go ahead and clip for Play of the Week and submit on Twitter, hashtag POTW to @MLESportsGG or in the Discord. But we saw some flashes of greatness, but the real consistency of the Wolves, they played more or less the same game all the way through, and what do you know, here they are with a 4-1 win.
Yeah, the Wolves, again, you said it, they were kind of circling predatory in the midfield. It was exactly where you kind of want to be in a twos rotation. Just let that defense get itself into trouble, pick up a loose bit of possession, and convert it. And it was effective. It did what it needed to do, and the Wolves walk out of here with a 4-1 win. Speaking of walking out of here, one of our sponsors, PowerA, makes quality controllers at reasonable price points. We're giving away a PowerA Spectre controller for a lucky winner, U.S. residents only. I think the details are !raffle or !tickets in the chat. Get them because we're closing the draw at 10 o'clock Eastern in a couple hours time here. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, it's some Academy League action as we'll see the Ducks take on the Eclipse. Stay with us. You're watching Minor League Esports presented by APM Music.